All right, so Uncle Dana comes out, and this was story time. Oh, by the way, if Uncle Dana sees this, very happy birthday. Now, talking about how O'Malley versus Yan got made. And I got to tell you, there are some fights on the radar. Like, however we're going to close out 2022, it's going to light the first half of 2022 on fire. The UFC's up to something. Strategically speaking, they're up to something. It's like a reloading phase. You'll see this in college sports. You'll see this in professional sports league, but we've never seen it in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, where they've got their 10 biggest stars on ice. And they're bringing in these other names, putting them at the top of the bill, doing great ratings, filling up arenas, and now getting guys like Gamrot attention that they wouldn't have previously gotten. So they're doing something. I'm trying to observe this. I'm trying to watch this. But I swear to goodness, on accident is when the best fights get made. Truly. I can remember how excited I was to see Jose Aldo versus Conor McGregor. I was more excited by bell time to see Chad Mendes versus Conor McGregor. I think you guys can relate to that stuff. Some of the best fights are made when the house is on fire or when you put somebody together. It's just one of these things. As each day goes by, I get more excited for Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev, which 1 week before Charles Oliveira fought against Justin Gaethje, I didn't even want to see because I knew it was going to happen. It still might be what's going to happen, but I don't know it anymore. Right? Greatest light heavyweight fight I've ever seen was Jon Jones versus Gustafsson. It didn't sell that well. Now, the reason it didn't sell well is because we all thought we knew it was going to happen, which Jon's going to go run over this guy. So it's one of those things. But I must tell you, Islam is completely confident he's going to beat Charles. Now, I understand that. I understand where you got to come out and you sell, you got to talk. You got to do that to get a fight. Once you have the fight, now the words that you say are what matters. Now the words that you speak is where we start to see your bravado, your confidence, your arrogance, any way you want to go with it, but it's after the bout agreement. Very important that you understand that time frame. What a guy will do to pick a fight versus what a guy will do to promote a fight. Smart guy, two different plans. Islam's already got the fight. Khabib has spoken up more about this fight. Not when he was trying to get it. He has the fight. His guys got the fight. By the way, they got it on home turf. They are talking and building this up more, but by the way, so's Charles. So what do? You're trying to judge confidence. Now, confidence is nothing more than a word that some guy every 10 years will use to sell a book on Amazon. Confidence is about the last thing that you ever need in sport. Not being sure and being a little bit scared about the guy across from you when you're locked in a steel cage is one hell of a lot more helpful, but let's just go with confidence because it is a talking point and it is a narrative. How do you judge that? These guys are awash. They truly are. Khabib came out, I'm going to credit this with Islam, but Khabib had come out and said, Charles, get your excuses ready. You're not going to win a round of this fight. Charles is coming out and saying, man, this guy's not even a problem for me. Let's talk about what's next. I've never been excited to fight Islam. I'm still not excited to fight Islam. What do I get after I beat this guy? Okay, what do you want to do then? What do you want to do when it's a wash? Well, I guess you got to back it up a little bit. I guess you got to go a little bit further. Who worked harder to get here? Who wanted to be here more? Who negotiated less? And if you do back that time frame up, I think if you were to play a game of chicken, I believe Charles blinked first. Now, he did it in the form of Lima, his coach, who just came out and said, we don't want to do the fight in Abu Dhabi. Now, they only said that 4, 5, 6 days. But in all fairness, that was the only hesitation we've seen by anybody. But I feel like that got corrected when Charles explained to us the only reason there's a hesitation is because this guy's not worth my time. I was hoping for a better fighter, higher ranked, somewhere else. Okay. I accept. I accept the whole thing. I hope Volkanovski comes in as the backup. Dana was doing an interview. Dana was talking about how they made Sean O'Malley and Petr Yan. And I must tell you, I do not feel when they left that matchmakers meeting that they had what was going to be a top 3 most talked about upcoming fight. I don't think they felt they had that. They made it a co-main event. I don't think they knew what you, the community, and how you're going to respond. So Dana just told the story of how it came out. I said, man, it wasn't my idea. It was actually Sean Shelby's idea. And when Sean Shelby told me, I'm thinking about Sugar Sean versus Petr Yan, I said, are you out of your mind? Which is something Dana would say. So Sean sells him on it. Sean goes, well, Dana, hold on just a second. I think maybe your years are getting off. You're thinking of Sean, the kid that came to the Contender Show that was 23 years old. He's going to be 28 years old when this fight comes around. It might have been 27. You get my point, though. The point was, hey, this young kid is actually in his prime. Everything's do or die at this point. Everything's make or break at this point. I agree. I really get that. And as that fight gets closer, when you look at the X's and O's, I will stand by the same contention I had when I heard that fight was announced, which is this isn't going to be close. Someone is going to get made to look like a fool. And it's not because their skills are lopsided. It's because their styles don't go together. You can't be the long guy and control range for a little bit, then all of a sudden you don't control it anymore. You can't be the shorter guy in Petr Yan that's got to get inside, and all of a sudden you can't figure out how to get inside. It doesn't work like that. One of them is going to do what they want to do from minute 1 through minute 15. But Sean's coming out. Sean's telling Aljo, who happens to be on that card, he's telling him to send me part of your pay-per-view bonus because they're tuning in to watch me. They're not tuning in to watch you. But I mean, this stuff is just fun. And Sean's put himself in a position. Sean said, I don't have to beat Petr Yan to know where I stand and to know that I'm a great fighter. How do you interpret that? Straight up question. I'm genuinely curious because, right, you see the two sides of the coin. On one hand, you're feathering a nest for a potential fall, which is not how I've ever heard Sean O'Malley speak before. On the other side of it, you've just alleviated a lot of pressure. And Sean might be the one guy that could go out there, stub his toe in his biggest opportunity, and come back even. He really might. Don't forget, it was the Sugar State Athletic Commission that overturned Sean's loss to Chito Vera. He's undefeated. I mean, don't forget that. This is the same guy. You got to be careful what you let into your bubble. Sometimes you got to just flat deny it. Sometimes you got to be a sociopath where you believe your own lies. I mean, that really is a part of it. There is a part where things, that didn't happen to me. Next, move on. I just feel like as this year is winding down, we're getting some unexpected traits. I do believe that the UFC is doing exactly what I said. I believe there is a strategic reload going on where the ratings and the gates and all of you guys are coming along so we can take our biggest stars, push them over here as we reload. But guys, look what we're getting for it. I mean, if you thought the first part of this year was a little slow by UFC standards, I won't be mad at you. Won't be mad at you. Not at all if you say that. But look what we're getting for it. We paid our dues. Now look at what we got, all these new stars. We got all these names coming up. Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira. This is an amazing match. And it wasn't to start this year. Gave some opportunities. We spread it around a little bit. Charles is doing his part. How do you put Volkanovski in here? He says he wants to be the backup fighter. I'm not going to be the one to say he doesn't deserve it. You got Sugar Sean and Petr Yan. They're not even a main event. And they're a top 3 most talked about. I mean, guys, not for nothing, but 2022 is a damn good time to be a fight fan.